Many students wonder, what is a good GRE score? And knowing about the GRE includes knowing about the basics. The GRE verbal section is scored between 130 and 170, and it goes in 1-point increments. The quantitative section is exactly the same. And this has been how they've scored people since 2011. Before 2011, it was actually a 200 to 800 scale. So this new scoring actually works in your favor. You are going to find that with every extra point that you earn, your percentile is going to really increase. And we'll show you a chart about that in a moment. In terms of the analytical writing assessment, it didn't change when the test changed in 2011, so it's still the same idea. You get a score for your issue essay, a score for your argument essay, and then it's automatically averaged. You won't ever know how you did on either one. They just give you a combined score for both. Now, when you go in for test day, you are going to get an unofficial verbal and quantitative score, and then they will let you know your essay score because they do have real people grading that. So you get your unofficial verbal and quantitative immediately, and then you have to wait on the essay. For the score ranges, knowing them in terms of percentiles is really helpful. So if you look at the top four, at the very top is the most competitive. Then we have above average. Below the above average, we have our average scores, and then up to the 48th percentile is going to be below average. Now, the thing to do, though, is to figure out what the program you're applying to is asking. Some programs simply ask you to take the GRE. Other programs are asking for a minimum. So if you look at the 2013 averages, a lot of programs are going to ask just for that minimum. For that average, actually, is what they set oftentimes as a minimum. So some schools will just say, you know what, if you get a 150 in each section, you're good to go. Some schools don't even look at the essay. So make sure you do your research so you can set a good score goal. Now, once you take a practice test, if you're not yet at the minimum requirement that the program asks for, or if you're not yet at the national average, that's a great first place to start. The small range of scores actually is in your favor. So every time you earn an extra point, your percentile can go up a lot. So even slight improvements in your score, that's huge. So for example, these are real numbers. If you go from a 150 to a 151 in the verbal, according to the data from 2013, you'll go from the 44th to the 49th percentile. That's 5 points. That's huge. Now think about this. For quantitative, if you go from a 149 to a 154, so that's an increase in your score of 5 points, you are bumped up 20 percentile points. So you go from the 37th percentile to the 57th percentile. So each point you get, or let's say you jump up 5 points in a section, that is a big deal for you and for the percentile ranking. Now keep in mind though, you are not a number. You are not your GRE score. It's one of several admissions factors. So your personal statement, your GPA, recommendation letters, and your resume, colleges look at those. You're not just one number. Once you have set your score goal, studying for the GRE really helps you to reduce your stress. You can feel better about the process overall if you know exactly what you're doing on test day. So make sure you put together a study plan, you have your score goal, and you go in and get those points.